The link to part 1 of this recap is in the description. Earlier, So-Hyun had cleared floor 10. It's a major achievement, but his goal of saving this world has just begun. Hak-jun is traveling with his guild leader to obtain an official rank from the government. Since Hak-jun has already cleared floor 15 in level 8 difficulty, guild leader expects a solid B rank. Guild leader mentions that So-Hyun recently conquered floor 10. It's possible that So-Hyun is also present for the rank assessment. And if he is there, the guild leader orders Hak-jun to recruit So-Hyun at any cost. He says, "If you manage that, who knows, I will even grant you your freedom in return." By a stroke of luck, So-Hyun arrives shortly after Hak-jun at the Awakened Certification Authority, the government facility where the exam takes place. Inside the exam room, a commotion erupts when an examinee vehemently rejects his D rank assignment, claiming he deserves a higher rank. Hak-jun swiftly controls him and exposes him as a cheater, who had been using an artifact to fraudulently boost his rank. When he resists, Hak-jun is about to teach him a lesson, but security promptly removes the cheater from the premises. So-Hyun approaches Hak-jun, and the two strike up a friendly conversation. Later, when So-Hyun mentions the guild, Hak-jun's demeanor instantly turns dark for a second. But Hak-jun switches back to his cheery self when his name is called for the exam. After the test, he is assigned the respectable rank of B, earning admiration from those around him. But he expected more. After that, the name So-Hyun is called out, and everyone is surprised, including Hak-jun, who heard So-Hyun's name for the first time. They all realize that the renowned So-Hyun from the points leaderboard is standing before them. The room buzzes with excitement. The instructor instructs So-Hyun to infuse his mana into the measuring tool. As the So-Hyun proceeds, the whole room briefly feels the immense pressure of So-Hyun's mana. However, the pressure swiftly dissipates, and So-Hyun is given a C rank, leaving everyone disappointed. The real So-Hyun would have a higher rank, and since So-Hyun is a common name, they assume this So-Hyun must be someone else with the same name. Hak-jun also doesn't believe. He knows that only world-class awakeners can manipulate mana to fake the test. And no matter how much of a genius So-Hyun is, he can't be a world-class awakener with only conquering the 10th floor. Meanwhile, So-Hyun is ashamed of losing control of his mana even if it was just for a second. He didn't realize how much his power has grown. Thanks to the rewards from clearing floor 10, he has improved stats and a new growth-type skill called Divine Flames from defeating the bird. Additionally, So-Hyun stumbled upon an expensive and mysterious egg from a special items shop. He only bought it because he remembered an awakener in his past life, who had a dragon as a familiar. Later, Hak-jun approaches So-Hyun to discuss something, but their conversation is interrupted by the previous cheater. Before Hak-jun can handle the situation, guild leader Dong-young arrives and casually deals with the troublemaker with assassin-like powers. Guild leader Dong-young introduces himself and expresses curiosity about Hak-jun's new friend. Despite Hak-jun signaling So-Hyun not to reveal his name, So-Hyun disregards the warning and shares his identity. Hak-jun attempts to explain the misunderstanding, but Dong-young dismisses him. But upon confirming So-Hyun's C rank on his identification, Dong-young quickly loses interest. He says a C rank like him can apply to the guild, but only after proper tests. So-Hyun firmly states, even if he was the real So-Hyun, he would never join a guild whose leader casually harms the weak. Dong-young claims it was just self-defense, but So-Hyun believes that punishment was excessive for a D rank. Amid their conversation, Dong-young chuckles and shares an unwritten rule of this world: interfering in awakeners' fights, even if it leads to death, is not a good idea. The powerful rule the world, and a guild with a formidable leader can act as they please. With that, Dong-young departs, and So-Hyun hands Hak-jun his contact information, telling Hak-jun to call him for help if ever the need arises. After a background check, turns out Dong-young used to be a notorious gangster involved in extortion, kidnapping, smuggling, and all sorts of crimes before his awakening. This revelation makes So-Hyun reconsider his previous judgment of Hak-jun. Maybe Hak-jun was justified in wiping out his entire guild in his previous life. But the question remains, what pushed Hak-jun to do that? Coming back, So-Hyun takes a brief moment to catch his breath and relax. However, the thought of the future immediately brings him back to reality, and he gets back to work. Having obtained an official rank, So-Hyun can apply for dungeon raids. He had always planned to apply for the upcoming Gwangju dungeon raid, because of something dark that occurred regarding this in his previous life. But with this second chance, So-Hyun is determined to make things right. Dungeons are identified by the color of their portals. They come in all 7 colors of the rainbow, with each color indicating the level of difficulty, red being the easiest and violet being the most dangerous. This Gwangju dungeon that Sohyan has selected is an orange dungeon, which is supposed to be easy. Upon arriving at the entrance, Sohyan is greeted by the raid leader, Johu. Another member named Minseok excitedly asks if he is the famous Sohyan, but Johu clarifies that he is just a C-rank explorer with the same name. A blonde girl named Yumi tries to act like a third-rate villain by downplaying Sohyan because of his C-rank. But Sohyan fires back, reminding Yumi that she is also a C-rank, so her being cocky doesn't make sense. Their banter escalates, prompting assistant leader Baron to intervene and call for calm. Meanwhile, the cheerful healer Yeon tries to ease the tension with her positive vibes, while the last member, a mysterious individual who keeps his identity hidden, avoids interaction. Since he is so sus, Sohyan keeps a close eye on him. Because on January 1st, 2024, in Sohyan's previous life, this team of 6 Awakeners excluding Sohyan embarked on the Gwangju dungeon raid. However, things took a disastrous turn, as the entire team was wiped out with no survivors found. That's why Sohyan chose this dungeon. If he didn't, all 6 of these people are about to meet their maker. But what's bizarre about the incident was that only 5 bodies were recovered instead of 6. It's evident that an assassination took place, with the real culprit hiding among the group. So, now that Sohyan has become the 7th member to join, it's all up to Sohyan to identify and incapacitate the traitor among them before the traitor kills them all. What do we have here? Looks like Sohyan is dealing with a classic Among Us situation, where Sohyan needs to catch the imposter. As the team enters the dungeon, they are unaware that the color of the portal behind them is changed from orange to yellow. Inside, Johu briefs them that there won't be any powerful monsters, but to their surprise, a towering Cyclops stands before them. The Cyclops launches an attack, but everyone narrowly evades it. Sohyan is shocked. Cyclops only appear in higher-level dungeons from yellow onwards. It dawns on him that this dungeon has been upgraded. It's a growth-type dungeon. Just like growth-type skills, there are growth-type dungeons. Realizing this, the team finds themselves in distress. Suddenly, the Cyclops strikes again, but Johu, being the only B-rank Awakener, steps forward to block the attack. However, a powerful knee strike sends Johu crashing into a nearby wall. With Johu incapacitated, the Cyclops prepares to deliver a final blow. But Sohyan steps in, blocking the attack and swiftly evading the follow-up strike. The team is astonished by the display of Sohyan's capabilities, a mere C-rank explorer holding his own against such a formidable foe. Suskai informs them that the exit is blocked, but that's normal, because, in dungeons of yellow level and above, one must clear the dungeon first, otherwise, they can't leave. Suddenly, the ground starts rumbling, and moments later around 30 small monsters descend upon them from all sides, causing chaos within the group. Sohyan confidently declares, "I will handle the Cyclops," and activates his leap skill, swiftly leaving the scene. Although Sohyan's Divine Flame skill can eliminate the small monsters, he decides to save it for a future emergency. Sohyan lands on the Cyclops' hand and stabs it, exploiting its vulnerability. He knows the Cyclops' weakness lies in its eye, but not the eye on its head, but the second eye on the palm, hidden in the hand which the monster uses to grip the club. With the Cyclops defeated, Sohyan is relieved to see the rest of the team holding their own against the smaller monsters. However, the Cyclops surprises everyone by grabbing Sohyan from behind. It was a trick. The second eye was actually on the Cyclops' other hand. Helplessly, the team watches as the Cyclops crushes Sohyan between its hands. But in the blink of an eye, Sohyan emerges unharmed. Fortunately, he activated his transformation skill just in time, granting him the abilities of the giant Cyclops. Since his transformation skill has leveled up, Sohyan can now even copy the enemy's powers instead of just their skills. With his newfound strength, Sohyan swiftly cuts down some of the small monsters with ease. And noticing Sohyan is distracted, the Cyclops attacks, but Sohyan dodges and launches a fierce counterattack from behind. Seeing all this, Johu is astonished at how a C-rank could possess such an amazing power-up skill. But as soon as Johu focuses on the remaining monsters, Sohyan stops holding back and swiftly defeats the Cyclops, easily destroying it completely without even considering its weakness. Once the battle is over, Johu instructs everyone to take some rest. He asks Sohyan if he is alright, and even though Sohyan is perfectly fine, he acts hurt, prompting Johu to order Yeon to heal him immediately. During the healing process, Yeon praises Sohyan for defeating a monster that even B-rank Awakeners struggle against. However, she shares some troubling news. Other members of the team are struggling, and on top of that, she has heard rumors about their leaders, Johu and Baron, who are notorious for scamming other raid members out of their rewards. Hearing this, So-Hyun finally solves the mystery of the true imposter, and now he understands what's truly happening here. But more on that later. Coincidentally, Johu approaches them and expresses the need to talk with So-Hyun, and So-Hyun replies he also has questions of his own, and the two have a conversation in private. After their conversation, the group proceeds further into the dungeon. Baron asks Johu about their plan, to which Johu replies that the plan has been cancelled. As the group advances, they come across two massive metal gates, and together they enter inside. In the distance, two more golden gates await them. Eagerly stepping forward, Yunmi triggers a message to appear.
Dungeon system on. Welcome. The trial of the dungeon will soon begin. Please select the trail of passing. First trial, fight monsters. The door at the back will continuously summon monsters for 30 minutes. Second trial, open the door on the opposite side and run from monsters for 30 minutes. Summoned monsters will chase after all of you. You have 10 minutes to make your choice between the first or second trial.
Now, our group is left to decide between the two trials that Dungeon has presented them. It's up to them to select the trial of fighting or the trial of running. Yumi suggests second trial of running, while Minseok mentions that the first trial of fighting may offer better rewards. As they argue, Baron turns to Johu to make the decision. Johu suggests asking So-Hyun since they owe their success against the Cyclops to him. The group is shocked when So-Hyun chooses the first trial, which requires fighting for 30 minutes. Yumi even calls him arrogant and greedy. So-Hyun explains his reasoning, highlighting that although the second trial, the running one, may appear easier, it would mean the dungeon will spawn extremely strong monsters that are impossible to defeat. A simple hiccup could easily result in demise. On the other hand, if they choose first one, the fighting trial, the monsters would be relatively weaker. They can somehow stick together in formation and endure for 30 minutes. Upon hearing So-Hyun's explanation, everyone agrees to fight. They quickly form a formation, and moments later, monsters start pouring out from the gates. A lizard-type monster grabs Johu, but So-Hyun swiftly cuts off its tail and defeats the creature. After some time later, So-Hyun scans the surroundings and notices that everyone is holding up well. They are on the verge of passing the trial when suddenly, outside the gate, the sus guy gets impaled by spikes and becomes history. Seems like he stepped on a trap while trying to escape. To make matters worse, since the doors were opened, the system announces that the first trial is cancelled, and now they have to face the second trial in 10 minutes. They need to run. Confusion fills their minds. Why would the sus guy attempt to flee just as they were about to pass? How can they escape when the outside appears to be filled with traps? They can't stay, as the monsters of the second trial are supposed to be impossible to defeat. They might be done for good this time.